Don't you understand? We are up.
Today we're taking a trip into the murky insect-infested depths of New York City to go on a bug hunt.
Is this gonna be a stand-up fight, sir, or another bug hunt?
I'm talking about Mimic, the director's cut from 1997. Directed by the visionary Guillermo del Toro.
Mimic is a very straight B-movie idea, which is monsters that are created.
So buckle up and grab your silverware. We find scientist Susan Tyler, played by Mira Sorvino, who engineers a new species of insect, the Judas breed, to combat a deadly plague carried by cockroaches. But as story dictates, things go awry, and these creepy crawlies evolve into human-mimicking monsters. After living through our previous few years of our own plague, I found it comical watching these sequences with Tyler and her eventual hubby, Dr. Mann, played by Jeremy Northam.
CDC.
CDC. Hey, boss, welcome to Disease Land.
Strolling through a contagious setting not wearing any type of surgical protection. In later scenes with Dr. Mann and his assistant Josh, played by Josh Brolin.
Well, I get it. It's very clever.
Also not wearing any covering to protect them from...
That turd that I took to the lab, I found these in it.
What are they?
Buttons.
I mean, when you're collecting specimens of this nature, one may think to, maybe wear one of these.
It's all bacterial, but hey, what the fuck, right?
You dirty bird.
I guess the whole covering up of actors' faces would deter the box office attendance at the time even further. When Mimic hit theaters, it was met with mixed reviews, partly because it was not the film Del Toro had envisioned. Harvey and Bobby Weinstein, the notorious studio execs from Miramax, had their claws all over this project.
They wanted to do Alien 4, and I wanted to do Mimic. So I didn't want anything to do with Alien. So we ended up with Alien 3.5.
Resulting in a film that felt rushed and sometimes incoherent.
Oh man, that's gonna work! You know a better way up!
Del Toro faced significant interference. He aimed for a film without guns, explosions, or a happy ending. Elements he felt were antithetical to his vision.
You know, it's not exactly the movie I wanted, but it's closer to it. There was a lot of bullshit that Miramax added to it or made me shoot little things.
Leading to conflicts that almost got Del Toro fired.
You fired! You fired! You fired! Oh, will you shut up? You fired!
And you know, I remember very distinctly the reason why I was able to finish Mimic was Mira Sorvino. Because Mira went toe-to-toe with the studio and said, I want him to direct it.
Right.
I want him to stay.
Are you crazy? This is the best. This is our meal ticket.
Fast forward to 2011, when Lionsgate released the Mimic Director's Cut on Blu-ray. This version, which Del Toro had a significant hand in editing, adds about 6 minutes of footage, but more importantly, restores the film's tone and atmosphere. Here, the horror is palpable and the characters are more fleshed out, and the narrative feels more like a Del Toro film, with its emphasis on mood and character over cheap thrills.
What the fuck is that? Come on down, man!
Del Toro's love for insects and dark, wet places shines through in both versions, but the director's cut enhances this with better lighting and color grading.
Nobody up there knows about this.
Nobody would. Not until it's too late. These things can imitate us, they can infiltrate us, and breed a legion before anyone would even notice.
The director's cut delves deeper into the existential horror of man versus nature.
Evolution has a way of keeping things alive.
Or rather, man versus his own creations.
You still think making the Judases was wrong?
3 years ago, I would have called it unforgivable.
The atmospheric subway scenes are darker, more menacing. There's also a philosophical undercurrent about the hubris of mankind, which was somewhat lost in the theatrical version.
It would be a tad hypocritical for me to pass judgment.
That's not an answer, Walter.
It's not an easy question.
Characters in the director's cut have more room to breathe. Susan Tyler's relationship with her husband Peter feels less like a plot device and more like a genuine connection. The director's cut isn't just a minor tweak, it's a reclamation of Del Toro's vision. Darker, more atmospheric, and while still not perfect, it's a film that feels like it belongs in the director's oeuvre. So, if you're a fan of Del Toro's style of horror, or just love a good monster movie, you owe it to yourself to check out this director's cut. You might even catch a young Norman Reedus in his first commercial film appearance.
But this thing, we didn't know what this was. We were thinking about throwing it away, but then I remembered Remy.
Jeremy plays bass in my band.
Until next time. Thank you to our YouTube members and everyone out there for your continued support. And Hail Cthulhu!